Shalom to Rabbi Dr. Yona Goodman of the National Network of Yeshivot and Ulpanot of Bnei Akiva. So,
Hi.
Let's talk about what's going on in Israel in terms of politics. We're not going to delve into politics.
Oh, I'm so...
But we're speaking now to audience around the world. What do you tell them when they look at what's going on and say, guys, this is crazy. Why can't the nation of Israel not argue like they argue in the Knesset? Why is there right with left and right and everything is mixed up? What do you tell them?
I think we should look at it with two eyes. One eye, if you're interested, read the news, read the papers, understand what this one thinks, and develop your own opinion. But the other eye has to have a perspective. We are talking about thanking God every day that we have a Knesset that we can argue about how to act there. Obviously, some of the things that people say are not relevant, all right? They're not proper. But the fact that after 2,000 years, I mean, between us, we're only 73 for a nation that's quite young. Remind me how much America just celebrated. I mean, it's much more, 200 and the fact that we have a home and we have a nation, it's very easy to establish a nation. But to create the nation in a way that people argue, but argue politely, we are apparently, first of all, in the Middle East. Okay, we're not in England, and we're not in other places where maybe we have things to learn from them. Second of all, what is much more important is our ability to look at a perspective and to simultaneously be able to thank God that we have a home, we have a homeland, and this is real life. If you want to make up stories, then everybody's nice and everybody's polite. This is real life, and people are arguing about things that they care about.
You know, also people talk a lot about why can't Israel have two parties like in the United States of America? And maybe connecting to what you're saying, it's also very special and unique that our Knesset, some may say it's a balagan, but there's an ability to have representatives of so many different types and styles and colors of the Jewish nation.
I'm not trying to duck the point. I mean, obviously there are things that I don't like. I'm not talking about opinions, I'm talking about the way the opinions are expressed. But at the bottom line, we are learning to live together after 2,000 years. There were people who once thought or discussed, is it going to be a miraculous situation when we rebuild the state? And I say, if we can live together without tearing each other apart, that already is a miracle. We're living in a time and day of a miracle, not only because we have a state, but because you have religious and you have people who are very much not religious, and you have right wing and left wing, and we're slowly learning, and there are pros and cons to the system. I can get into the system, but before I get into the system, I think we have to look and thank God that we're living in such a time and day.
And you're involved also with the young boys and girls. Do you hope and feel that they, despite being in this era of digital and screens and all, they will also be involved in what goes on in the land of Israel? Are we able to push them into activity, to be proactive?
I think they are very much proactive, but not in politics. Not everybody has to be involved in politics. I think the way they are volunteering, the way they are building, the way they are giving a week or 2 weeks of their time to help. It can be a kid who's crippled physically, it could be to help build a new settlement. Not everybody has to be involved in the political arena. Maybe even we are sometimes looking too much at the politics, because the story of Israel is much more bigger than only the
120
politics. What's happening in the yeshivot, what's happening in the educational system, what's happening in people helping each other. It's happening in the way we competed with, or we coped with COVID-19.
Exactly, yeah. We had a year and a half and seeing how people volunteered, and also during the tension throughout the country with the Gaza, of course, we saw where people were and how much volunteer
I think the kids are wonderful. I'm very proud. I think we should all have a lot to be proud about. And we also have challenges of raising teenagers, of raising young kids. You're nodding your head and I'm also nodding my head. We have challenges. But at the end, I think we're all going to be very proud. And even if they're not active today in a political, some of them are, and some of them are not, but they're active every way possible. This is a wonderful country, even if sometimes we are critical about the political situation.
Okay, Rabbi Yona Goodman, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.